Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had a decent Saturday despite what took place with the markets over the past 24 hours. That's exactly what we're going to be getting into in this video. This is going to be a Cardano specific video, an update really, a damage report if you will. We're going to be getting into the nitty gritty. Now, over the past couple of days, a couple of weeks now, I've really been saying that the crypto space as a whole is in a different position to what it was previously. And what I mean by that is it's a more mature market. It's more heavily correlated with external markets. Over the past week or so, we've really been giving updates, or we do it generally, but they've been more frequent recently due to the fact that we are seeing a huge impact on the crypto space come from external factors. So whether that be global events, the new variant, whether that be how markets are doing, what the Fed policies, monetary policies are looking like, etc., etc. They're all having an effect on our market. And naturally, there is this big pot of liquidity that various markets take out of, including the crypto space and other markets, that is affected by certain elements, and this of course is going to affect markets, how bullish, bearish, the buy pressure, etc., etc. So there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and it's my belief that we are still in a bull run. Before we get into this video, one of the main messages of this video is don't panic, guys. It's the worst thing you can do in these sell-offs. We've been here before for crypto. It's absolutely still my belief that cryptocurrency is still in a bull run. We are going to get into that. Let's start with why Cardano sold off. And I'm sure many of you guys probably know the answer already. It has nothing to do with Cardano and everything to do with Bitcoin, and it being that tide that rises and sinks all ships. Cardano, in my opinion, with where it's currently at today, is oversold. This price action does not reflect ADA. It doesn't reflect what's going on. You know, all the metrics, the on-chain analytics for Cardano are continuing to go up at a pretty astounding rate. Not only that, we know we've got the entire ecosystem on the horizon. This is going to see Cardano get eaten up and locked into some of these DeFi and dApps. This is all extremely bullish for ADA. We also know, despite this sell-off, nobody really seemed to unstake their Cardano. Still 71.6% of the overall supply of Cardano is staked. So what you've seen here for ADA over the past couple of months is really a reflection of the crypto space and not Cardano. And we're still very pegged to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now pegged to global events. Everything ties in. And I think this is going to be a different, and we have followed the 4-year cycle theory very, very closely. And this is certainly when we first made the channel, we covered this in great detail. We followed this theory very, very closely up until recently, in regards to the fact that the end of year 2017 and prior to that 2013 was a parabolic end, and then the cycle kind of rinsed and repeats. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case this year, but what I do believe is that cycles are lengthening, and this ties in fundamentally and technically. If you look at cycles, you can see there is a lengthening time period from top to top, and not only that, fundamentally you have a whole basket of new actors entering the space. It's simply a bigger market with a bigger market cap, and you have to take all this into account. So I'm not worried about Cardano's price. I'm going to be absolutely honest with you on this video. I haven't sold a single Cardano to date. And in fact, I'm in an accumulation game for ADA. I picked some more Cardano up today. And depending on what the price does over the next couple of weeks, couple of days, couple of hours, I'll continue to do so. I'm going to keep accumulating Cardano and staking in it. Why is that? Well, it's because I believe in what's around the corner. You know, I think the crypto market as a whole still has a very long way to go. And I certainly think that within that, Cardano is going to do very well. And I believe, and it's certainly my opinion, that if you bought up here, selling down here to me doesn't really make much sense. You know, there's a tried and proven method within the crypto space, and that is hodling. It works, it's shown to work. And what you're experiencing here, really, when you put it in a kind of macro scale, is just volatility, ladies and gentlemen. You know, this is an uptrending market, and you're still yet within this trend, and this ties in with our Elliott wave theory that we have in play. Many people saying, okay, well, when is the Elliott wave theory broke? When we make a new low. With Elliott wave theory, this is sort of typical Elliott wave theory. You essentially invalidate this whole structure if you're one wave, 2 wave, you make your 3 wave, and then your 4th wave comes below where you started your 3 wave, because you invalidate the whole structure and the whole kind of pattern. So we're still in an Elliott wave theory. Really, the rules are that you can come essentially right down to where you started the wave, as long as you don't go below it. And this is an uptrending market, ladies and gents. So is crypto as a whole. When you really zoom out for Bitcoin, it's done a lot in a little bit of time. A lot of that inflation right now is catching up with it. In terms of its kind of, that liquidity is somewhat drying out. You have this big, massive run that actually outperformed in terms of ROI last year's cycle, last 2017. And now there's a cooling off period, and that's what you're experiencing. And Cardano is a part of that. So your Elliott wave theory still isn't broken. This is just one big macro continuation pattern, in my opinion. Until you start to come and take out these levels, that's when we need to reassess the situation and go, okay, we could be in for more of a sustained down period. Now, we have seen a significant buyback. We always typically see this. This is also credibility. Of course, very much following Bitcoin for the strength in the market. People are willing to step in and accumulate at these levels. I think this is going to be a long, more drawn out game than we expect. And you've got to prepare for that and not get shaken out. You've got to be in it to win it in many respects with crypto. And of course, it can't just, if it was that easy, if we just followed that 4-year cycle theory perfectly and we saw that blow off top at the end of this year or where we are now, it would be far too easy, ladies and gentlemen. There's going to be spanners thrown in the works, and it's what you do when you encounter those problems that will really separate individuals. So I don't think you've got anything to worry about. We're seeing a nice buyback here. We haven't, within this trend, gone on to put in a new low. You can see we fell short of it. That still confirms that we are still in an uptrend. Doesn't mean that we can't roll over, but ultimately, you know, I do still think we're in a bull market. I think we're going to see frequent pullbacks of somewhat severity due to how kind of liquid and leveraged crypto is, and speculative, and still relatively small as a market, and you've just got to deal with them. So that is really all I have for you in this video. The main message is to not get shaken out. This was just really a short and sweet update. We know there was quite a lot of liquidations that took place for the crypto space as a whole. Certainly a lot of them were in Bitcoin, and that's really what would have kind of triggered and caused a lot of this wick. Leverage is somewhat killing the market. You would think that people going leverage long would affect the market to the upside, but it actually does the opposite, because when those people get liquidated, it causes a kind of cascade. And actually what will pump the price of Bitcoin, certainly in the short time, is people going leverage short. So you almost want people to be bearish so that you can flush them out and use that as buy pressure. So there is a lot going on. Don't panic. Let's see where the land lies over the next couple of days. The next couple of hours, in fact, the next 24 hours are going to be very, very telling on what Cardano does here, whether it's C strength, whether we start to get a green candle and an uptick of this. Also with Bitcoin, remember the traditional financial world is in, and we've covered everything over the past couple of days, whether that be non-farm payroll, what Jerome Powell's comments say, and the implementations to the economy that may have. The fact that, you know, there might be a liquidity shortage because he's going to taper off bond buybacks, and he's going to start to tackle the issue of inflation. There might be bonding rate increases, which, you know, there's so much going on you all need to pay attention to. And that's why we're giving those daily update videos, to kind of really highlight that there's a lot going on externally from the crypto space that has a direct impact on it, and the markets are going to act accordingly. So I don't think you've got anything to worry about. I think it's just a hang in there game, guys. Certainly that's what I'm going to be doing. You guys need to make your own decisions. I don't think we're in a bear market yet. In fact, I'm pretty certain we're not. And I do still think we're going to see that continuation. I know it somewhat seems bleak at the moment, but let's see where the land lies over the next couple of days. When you understand what's on the horizon for Cardano, it's hard not to be bullish. Certainly for me it is. You know, I think this is an ecosystem that's going to do very well. We've seen that kind of interest already. Not only that, you know, the tokenomic side of things, you know, is very strong. When you look at the uptick in terms of user base, network growth, and the fact that there's the majority of Cardano actually staked and locked up already, it's a pretty clear picture that you know, there's a lot of strength within ADA, and the price just simply does not represent it. So that is all I have for you in this video. I was trying not to make this too long and drawn out. It's always good for me to touch base on days like this, because I'm right there with you as a hodler. I still feel those same emotions. I've somewhat learned to mitigate them, because I've been here for 4 years, over 4 years now, and I've had a lot of days like this where the market's been completely volatile to the downside, and it always has the same kind of initial feeling. But when you really zoom out, you know, we've been here 1,000,001 times, guys, and there's no indications. People calling for a bear market. I mean, look at where we are, guys. You know, that's what the main worry and what really causes more sell-offs to occur. Certainly shakes retail out is the fear that we're going to go into this bear market. And if we're seeing differences within, you know, bear markets might look completely different into the future. They may be more short and less drawn out and more snappy. We just don't know. I'm going to cover that in tomorrow's video. So watch out for that, guys. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. I hope you've all enjoyed the content. A like is always appreciated. So as a comment, remember we have the All in Crypto stake pool. Stake and forget. That's certainly my mantra. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next YouTube video. There's a link to our Discord in the description for those of you struggling to hang on. May give you some encouragement. I don't know. That's all I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a fantastic Saturday.